Thank you for tuning in for this Astro Update. My name is Stephanie Whitaker, and we're going to be talking about the full moon in Pisces. Not only as we have a full moon, we also have it conjunct Neptune, and it's in direct opposition of Mars and the Sun. So basically, we are opening wide to expand our spiritual awareness and harness it to our ego for integration and healing. Going back, centuries, spirituality and the ego has never gotten along. As our spirit and soul within us, we want to connect to the divine. It is where, it's where we belong, and we know this. So we're always trying to connect to the divine. And the ego is always trying to keep us grounded. We're on planet Earth. We're not in heaven yet. We're on planet Earth. And it's what motivates us and pushes us forward and helps us achieve our goals. And it's also, a great defense mechanism, helps protect us. People with Chiron in Aries or Chiron in the first house are going to be feeling this full moon pretty intensely. So we're going to be bringing up the trauma that we've had to deal with, from childhood and from other past lives. We have issues with, self-criticism. We have issues of personal identity, and then aspects of ourselves that we just completely want to disassociate with and cut off from, being the ego, okay? So we don't like the ego too much. We're trying to integrate it. We're trying to heal so we can, have that drive that pushes us forward. Any type of pleasure that we have in life, the ego pushes towards it. And it's one of the things we're looking at with this opposition is, basically, when we have an addiction to things and, the ego is like, nope, I like this. This makes me feel good. I want to keep this. And although our spiritual and higher selves are saying, nope, I need to get rid of this. This is not serving me. This is not good. So, we're having a lot of those, conversations come up within us during this full moon as well. But when the ego has been damaged or wounded, you're looking at fragmentation of yourself. So we're looking at the healing this so we can actually become, whole within ourselves again. That fragmentation can cause all kinds of issues when it comes to personal identity, as well as, what's your sole purpose? How do you achieve things in life? How do you get ahead? It is what pushes us and drives us. So if we're completely disassociated from it and we're in this, state of, spiritual bliss, we have no desire to move from there. It's, it's kind of like almost a catch-22. We want to elevate, we want to connect to the divine, but we're still on planet Earth, so we have bills, we have, responsibilities to take care of, we have things we need to do, and the ego can help with those things. So the ego is not all bad, but we need to have it like on a leash, okay? And the way you do that and the way we integrate it is actually from the mind. The mind in itself is like a hunchman. It's a follower. It does not take control and just do things as it will. It basically goes into a default setting as to what you normally would choose. So if you're one that's like normally flies off the handle and the ego goes full blast, the mind is going to tell yourself, hey, let's do this. It's going into default mode. As you're trying to change and, you don't want to be that way anymore, so a lot of times people go to the opposite extreme to where they do nothing. It's okay. I know where I stand, and they take what most people call the higher road. So when you're taking this higher road, it's good, but it's also, once you're on that road for so long and you're, shutting the ego off, taking that higher road, trying to elevate your spirit, elevate your vibration, you're losing touch with, reality in a sense, your daily life, your joy, your fun. That's all comes in with the ego. The ego thrives for those things, and there needs to be a balance. This full moon is actually going to create you know, that opposition is the whole thing is to find balance with the ego. So pay attention to your thoughts. What pops in your mind? So if this pops in your mind to fly off the handle about something, you know, be aware of it. That's how we integrate. It's like putting that dog on a leash, saying, nope, you can't go there. We're going to do this instead. Okay, we can go this direction today because I like this. It's not going to hurt us to every once in a while have that piece of chocolate. You know, it's kind of a give and take, you know, so it's all about moderation. Being aware of your thoughts is how you moderate and how you integrate the ego in itself. So slow down, especially during this full moon, because your ego is going to want to fly off the handle. It may want to completely pull back and say no, and just go into a self-destruct mode to where, you know, you don't want to do anything. You lose all your desire. You just want to connect with the divine, you know. And back on planet Earth, not saying you're not part of planet Earth, but in the everyday reality is, you know, it's part of being human. It's part of who we are. Stop fragmenting yourself for someone else, for something else. Be in the moment, be here, be now, but be who you are. Stop cutting off the ego, you know, allow pleasures in life, allow those things to happen. And it's done through, again, moderation, everything in moderation. So we have, I think during this full moon, we're going to see people stepping into their power, their own personal power, because that ego is going to be healed and it's going to be pushing forward. Just be aware of it. We have Mercury trining Jupiter, so we got expanding our confidence, our self-worth, our abundance going on as well. If you're having any issues during this full moon, get into some water, take you a bubble bath. You know, do a, basically it's not really a detox bath, but you can put like essential oils. You do a tea bath, which is basically using herbs and stuff actually in your bath water. It's really great, helps relax you. And it's going to help connect you, you know, into that moon and Neptune field. If your Mars gets a little bit out of control and your ego tries to fly off the handle, and you're like, oh, I need a minute, get into some water. If you're having issues of you're not feeling the ego, you're just feeling kind of invisible, non-existent, no sense of self, blending into the background. When you have those issues, I do very often because I have Chiron in the first house. So when you have those issues, do some exercise, get outside barefoot, connect with your grounding, you know, eat any type of root vegetables. So we have potatoes, we have, you know, turmeric, ginger, all of those are amazing to help, you know, with grounding your energy and, you know, bringing forth a little bit more of that self-confidence and raising that vibration, connecting to the ego just a little bit. So I wish you the best this full moon. Hope you all have a great and wonderful time. You know, be blessed. Thank you for tuning in.